Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be talking about some cards that I don't think you guys should be buying right now because these are potentially some really big reprints that we will see within Innistrad Remastered. Now, if you don't know what Innistrad Remastered is, it's going to be a remastered set. They do a whole bunch of reprints with it, and it's going to be having some really nice ones. I've already shown, like, Edgar Markov to start off with, like, that's $100 card. We did a video on that the other day. We did a video yesterday about some great reprints that they've already announced. If you're wanting to build a vampire, werewolf, spirit, graveyard, life gain, angel, whatever gothic deck you want, now is going to be the time after this set reprints. There's going to be lots of really nice ones in there, so we're going to go through them. Keep in mind that just because they are reprinted as well doesn't mean they're going to drop a lot. They may drop a bit, don't get me wrong, but they may drop a bit and then go back up, depending on if, they're a mythic that's get reprinted or whatever. Also of note is that they changed how these sets work, the remastered sets. So check out my previous video on that. They can reprint non-Innistrad themed cards in it now, and they're going to change the art. I love that idea because of the fact that it makes it so that if you're building, say a Markov deck and you wanted a certain card, now you could potentially get it in an actual Innistrad themed art. I love that idea, personally. Before we get into it, though, make sure you guys subscribe. At the moment, only 21.2% of our watch time is coming from subscribers. I want to hit 10,000 by the end of today. Can you guys do that? Can you all band together to bring us up above that 10,000 subscribers? And, we're going to do huge giveaways when it happens. This is the best place to come to for up-to-date news, silly brews, cards for you guys to pick up or not pick up, as with this video. I'm not even going to, plug the fact that you guys can support the channel by buying stuff on TCG Player. I mean, I guess I just did, but just because I don't want you guys to buy these cards and then get ripped off. And pre-con reviews as well. The other thing is that if you guys want to subscribe as a member, you have the option of that, for as little as $5 a month. One, you get access to our huge backlog. And two, this is actually going to support me way more than you watching videos. I don't know if you guys know this, but watching a video really does not pay all that much to, the YouTubers, right? So this is the way that you guys can do that. You don't have to feel bad about if you have an ad block or anything like that. You can just support the channel this way if you like. All right, so let's get into it. First up, we've got Cavern of Souls. I did not realize this was originally an Innistrad card. It was printed, I believe it was Avacyn Restored. I want to say, I'm going to get the sets wrong as to when these ones are printed and stuff, but, Caverns of Souls, first, if you're just making any kind of deck around a certain creature type, this is huge, but it's just an amazing card overall. It got reprinted with LCI, what was that, 2 years ago now? Jeez. Oh, no, it must have been last year. No, last year. Last year it got reprinted and it's still up there, so definitely worth picking up. We've got Avacyn Angel of Hope. If you've got an Angel deck, this is really great. If you've got, a deck that's around combat, really great. Any kind of deck that wants a big flyer is going to be worthwhile having this. Craterhut Behemoth, another card that I did not know was an Innistrad card originally. Just a big finisher. Everyone needs Craterhut Behemoth for so many decks, like anything that's got green in it. This is your big finisher that's like, hey, this is coming out. It's given trample. It's buffing everything up. Boom. Now all of my, 1/1s that I had, like my 10 1/1s are all 11/11 tramplers. Really great. We got Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. They actually showed a new Sorin art today, and oh my god, I love it. It looks so much like Henry Cavill. I'm down for that. This one was printed in Core 2020, and it's just a great card. If you've got a vampire-based deck, you can buff up your vampires. You could sack your vampires to deal damage and gain life, or the -3, just put a vampire from your hand onto the battlefield, and you can do that the turn he comes in. We got Parallel Lives. I really want to see this one because I want to see a Parallel Lives that on one side of the card, like over on the left-hand side, it is a human, and then on the right-hand side, it is a werewolf. It's all I dreamed of. I'm actually really disappointed because they did a Parallel Lives with like the anime art, I think it was, for WoW, and it didn't have that art on it. They had one similar, which was this one here, but I really wanted to see like I guess they did kind of with this one. I'd love to see one that's just full art that. We got Gisela the Broken Blade and Bruna. Now, I do think that like Bruna is not worth as much as Gisela. Gisela is amazing and, a really big expensive card. They've already showed that there is going to be meld cards within this set, so I think this one is almost guaranteed to see it. I'm pretty excited for this one personally myself. We've got Exquisite Blood. You know, I don't think I need to explain Exquisite Blood as to why it's going to be a great reprint, and so many people are going to be after it. We've got the Bloodline Keeper and the Lord of Lineage. If you've got a vampire-based deck, this is going to be amazing. It's a huge banner, as well as the fact that it taps to put out more vampires too. We've got the Balefire Dragon, another card that I did not know was Innistrad. I'm finding so many cards that I did not realize was Innistrad. This is really great. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much to each creature that player controls. So it's a big kind of, almost a board wipe if you get it big enough and able to fly over top of people and just deal damage to them. Really great card. We've got the Toxrill, the Corrosive. Again, another card that I did not realize was Innistrad. But great kind of commander card as well. Chucks out all of those slime counters onto people. And then, kills off their things and then brings you a whole bunch of slugs that you can throw at people or sack for cards or whatever you want to do with them. Cultivator Colossus here. Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Any green stompy deck that's going to be just playing a whole bunch of lands like my loot deck would love this, right? Like, so not only do you get to put cards out, like lands out onto the battlefield, it's just buffed up by the amount of lands you've got too. We've got the Cryptolith Rite. So they released a version of this that was similar with a few different things like what was it? Enduring something. One of the Endurings was very similar to this. And this card is still super expensive, even though, they've got a more recent kind of version of it. The Enduring Tenacity, I think it was. But Enduring Tenacity is also just, more expensive. It's like, Vitality, sorry. It's sitting at, $6. Oh no, this one's more expensive, but it also costs one less, I guess. And it's not as likely to get kind of caught up in a board wipe, but then Enduring Vitality comes back. I don't know. Enduring Vitality, I think, is better than this, personally. That's my opinion. But, this is still a great card, and it's worth having both in some decks. We got the Conjurer's Closet. If you're in any kind of blinking flicker deck with ETBs, this is going to be worth grabbing just to be able to repeatedly trigger those. We've got Gristlebrand. Now, keep in mind that this card is banned within Commander. However, they are looking at addressing the ban list. So when he gets reprinted, and I think he's probably the only one on this list that I will say is almost guaranteed to get a reprint because of the fact that he does show up on the collector boosters. Like, he's showing his art on the collector boosters. So I do think that he's going to get reprinted, but he is banned within Commander. They could unban him. We'll have to see. They are looking at addressing that ban list in the future, so maybe we'll see an unban for him. Who knows? All right, next up, we've got Umbrous Fearmort Manifest. Now, keep in mind that they can also reprint things from within the Commander set. So this one was from Crimson Vow Commander. I versed this the other day, and the guy was like making me exile cards off the top of my deck, and oh no, it was so bad. Lucky I was able to actually wipe it out with my Wolverine, but still, this is a really great card, especially when there has been so many cards recently that are like, the collect evidence cards, or cards that plot stuff, or, they exile stuff until they get to a land and then cast that, or whatever. Like, there's so many cards lately that are playing with exile. This dude is going to get buffed up so much. He is a great card in so many different decks nowadays. We got Wedding Ring. This was most recently reprinted within Doctor Who, and they had the Doctor Who version of it. However, if you don't want the Doctor Who flavor, or you just want, the actual Innistrad flavor, this is a great card, especially if you've got like a deck that is based around either, drawing cards or something, because then, like, say for example, the Bumbleflower deck. The Bumbleflower deck, I'm going to make people draw cards, and I get to choose who draws those cards. So if I choose the person who I gave this wedding ring to, boom, now I'm drawing cards, which is really cool. As well as, you can steal their life gain, not steal, but like copy their life gain as well. We've got Wilhelt the Rot Cleaver. So this was from Midnight Hunt Commander, and he is one of the definitive zombie commanders. He's just, if you're making a zombie deck, he is one of the commanders that people most will suggest because of the fact that you can just do so much with him. we've got Hollow Henge Overlord. So if you do have a deck based around, say, Voja, he is a great card in Voja because of the fact that you get to essentially create additional wolves each time you have your upkeep. Now, if you wanted to make a werewolf deck as well, great. A wolf deck, if you're going with Voja for wolves, great. If you just, even if you just have him as your only wolf besides Voja, he is a great card in that deck. Or if you've got like a green deck that has a couple wolves in it, you could potentially add it in. Avacyn's Memorial, a great way to protect everything that you've got if you've got, legendary permanents out. We've got Nurkana Revenant. So this one was from Vow Commander as well. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, get an additional black. Really, really great. And as well as the fact that you can buff her up as well. It's really, really great card if you're, running vampires and stuff. If you're not running I think if you're not running Edgar Markov, because Edgar wants heaps of low-cost vampires, not necessarily strong, big vampires. This is a strong, big vampire that you could add in as a finisher, or just in a different vampire deck. We've got Greymond, Avacyn, Stalwart. So one thing to kind of keep in mind here is that they can reprint the secret lair, with universes within cards. The universes within cards that were technically drawn from the secret lair, then reprinted into a Innistrad flavor. So this is Greymond, Avacyn, Stalwart. I think it was originally, I don't know, Walking Dead, one of the Walking Dead characters, and then it got reprinted as an actual Innistrad card. So you could potentially see this as within the set. And I really, really hope this one, I think this would be great. And the fact that it's sitting so expensive, oh man. Imagine this with a Riders of Rohan deck. Oh, that's so cool. All right, next up, we've got, I just wanted to also feature some of the other ones. So these are some of the other Secret Lair within cards that were flavored as Innistrad. So you got Malik, Grim Manipulator, Gregor, Shrewd Magistrator. I actually love this one. This one's really great in a Bumbleflower deck as well, if you want to draw cards. And then you've got Geese's favorite Shovel as well, which is really cool. If you want to create Walker tokens, which are zombies, you've got that option there too. And then we've also got Geese of the Hellraiser. So this one here was drawn from OTJ. So, but realistically, it doesn't need to be OTJ flavored, right? You could just reprint this within the universe and it would be fine. Perfectly fine. Next up, we've got Dark Petition, a really great kind of tutoring card. And as long as you got some Spellslinger stuff, you've played a couple cards before this, you're going to be able to get a huge refund, turning this into a 2-mana tutor. Really, really great. We've got Thalia. Any version of Thalia can get reprinted in here, or any version of the Gitrod monster. Both, great cards. Thalia, I think, is one of the cards that pees people off the most because it makes all your stuff cost 1 extra. And then you've got the Gitrog monster here with a huge different, a very wide variety of different cards that you could potentially run him with. Typically, a landfall deck or, graveyard kind of landy stuff, which is really cool. We've got Sigarda's Aid, most recently reprinted within the Captain America Secret Lair. But honestly, I would be very, very surprised if we don't see this here. And it's kind of creeping up a bit. So getting a reprint for it is really, really good. I'm really excited for that one. Tree of Perdition as well, being able to exchange your opponent's life total with its toughness, so you can set someone's life total to 13. Really, really strong within Commander because, you're taking someone from 40 down to 13 potentially, or, if they've got a really high life total, they've got up to 100 life total, and then you tap it, swap it, and now you've got a blocker with 100 life, and they've got 13 life, which is really funny. And there's a bunch of combos with that too. We've got Gravecrawler. If you're building a zombie deck, really great zombie to bring along. Grave Pact as well. I don't know if the original version of this was Innistrad. I think the original version was 10th edition, but I don't know if the original art was Innistrad or just kind of generic-y kind of stuff. Actually, no, I think it was printed before that. But either way, you know, the new version of it is it's Crovax, that's right. The new version of it, this is definitely a, you know, Innistrad based card. So yeah, it you know, can get reprinted here, and it's useful in just a bunch of decks. As long as you're sacrificing stuff, you can do it. As long as your creatures are dying, it's encouraging people not to kill your creatures, and makes them sacrifice their creatures. So therefore, you know, it's bypassing any hexproof or, you know, shroud or whatever. They're just sacrificing creatures, so you can get past all those annoying things. We've got Olivia Voldaren, an alternate, you know, vampire commander. If you want to run a vampire commander, you've got her. I think that she's a interesting vampire commander. I haven't used her personally or versed her personally, but I do like her. I like the idea behind her, and I would love to verse her one day. We've got Adeline Resplendent Cathar. So she was just reprinted within Jumpstart 2025, and, you know, with an anime art and everything. But this is the non, you know, anime art version of her that we could potentially see a reprint of. Any kind of white weenies deck, or, you know, a white deck that's going to be creating a bunch of tokens, which is, you know, every white deck under the planet lately. It's going to find use for her and be able to make use of her really, really well. And that's it for today, guys. I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. What reprints are you guys most looking forward to? I think Sigarda's 8 is definitely up there for me. I really want to see a reprint for that. And I would like to see a reprint for the Greymond as well, because of the fact that these ones are $40 freaking dollars, so I really hope that they get reprinted in here. I guess the thing that I want to kind of, you know, drill home to you guys is, don't go buying any cards from that will potentially be reprinted within here. If, you know, you want to build an Edgar Markov deck, then buy the vampires that are not going to be reprinted in here. So you're looking like, you know, your Ixalan, your Dominaria vampires and stuff, not your vampires that will be reprinted in here, because you may, you know, potentially end up losing money and spending more money than you need to if they do get that big reprint. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000. I want to hit it by the end of today. Come on, guys. Pull it all together. Bring it home. Let's hit it before, you know, the 6th of December, you know, 25 days before our time limit up. Hope you guys had a great day, and goodbye.